Very excited for the dissection training, and we go there and we see that the cadavers there. We keep different names to it. We are all excited. Yeah. We are giving names to the cadavers. we are giving him names, and we
Why
really,
is that? Why do you give a name to a cadaver?
it was just like student fun. Like we students are like just having our fun time there.
Tell me some names. Or is it actual names or like?
No, just our pet names, which we
names,
give
okay.
the cadaver. For us, probably to remember. This is like something to take away. This is like one takeaway that we'll probably remember the cadaver. Like Tom, who we had we dissected, like that.
Like
that's
that.
the thing
Okay.
for us. And I remember the anatomy professor coming and she says, "This is not. We are not butchering. We are dissecting. This is a dissection."
Hello everyone, welcome to the Future Doctor podcast show. I have a very special guest with me today, Savitran. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So Savitran is a fifth year medical student at University of Lublin in Poland. He went through a very interesting program. He did 3 years in Gulf Medical University, and now he's going to do 3 years in University of Lublin, out of which he's completed already 1 year. And Savitran, I'm looking forward to speak with you and learn from your experience. And I hope even the audience will learn a lot.
Sure, yes, looking forward. I think we're going to have good information for everyone out there, and I'll be sharing my experiences as well.
Perfect. Thank you for taking out the time.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get started and let's dive into it right away. Firstly, tell me about your childhood, your school days. Where did you grow up? Which school you went to? What subjects you had?
Okay, so to begin with, I have been doing my education in UAE since my second grade, grade
Okay.
2. So I was in Avron High School, Varka, where I did my education till grade 10.
Okay.
After which, due to subject choices, I moved to GMU Millennium Alkale,
Okay.
where I did my high school, 11th and 12th.
Okay.
So from there, it's Gulf Medical University, where I started with my professional career. That's there, but there was a little shift. It was COVID hit right when I was.
Is
It's the year 2020 when I joined Gulf Medical University, and because of COVID and the restrictions in travel and the world coming to standstill, there was a lot of restrictions, and traveling was no way possible.
Okay.
And so we had to think about choices within the UAE.
Right.
It became more like of that situation. Of course, a lot of discussion at home and self-questioning as well. Do we really pursue into medicine, or do we look into other options as well? Because there was a little shortage of like options or choices when it comes to UAE back then in 2020. So then finally going to every campus, inquiring about the course, about duration. Of course, the doubts, nervousness was all there. That what if I don't join and start my course in September? Would I miss a year?
Right.
Yeah, a lot of questions of that sort. And yeah.
Let's talk a bit about that. So you went to CBSE school, right? That's what I understand. GEMS Millennium is a
Yes, it's a
CBSE
CBSE
school. So did you take all sciences and maths?
No.
What
no.
were your subjects?
So I was not. I was very inclined of not taking maths from the beginning.
Okay.
Because when I was sure that I want to take science, science stream, a subject choice without maths.
Right.
So I had taken physics, chemistry, biology, and psychology in my 11th and 12th.
Okay.
Psychology was something I was very skeptical about. It was a new subject, and I didn't know the definition of psychology when I joined in 11th. Because it was a new school, environment, teachers, subjects. Of course, the others, like psychology was a new subject. Others all were the same, but yet it was a new environment altogether.
Right.
And it was very intriguing for me to realize this after my school days. When I look back today as well, that psychology is still my favorite subject. And it's something which came from nowhere. Like I didn't plan for psychology.
Right.
I just wanted something without maths. I was like, if maths is not there, I'm good to go.
So is psychology helping you in medical studies?
For sure. And
How does it help?
So the study patterns, right? So for every subject, I feel there's a study pattern which we have to frame.
Correct.
Because timetable schedules is one thing, but study pattern is a separate thing.
Right.
Because the way we study biology is not the way we study physics. It's not the way we study maths. So every subject has a different study pattern. These come, of course, by practice, but also there's a different study pattern to it. Similarly, even for psychology, the study pattern is pretty similar to the content is pretty similar to biology.
Okay.
When I say content is similar, I feel like it's a subjective. It's a very the exam pattern is pretty subjective. We have long answers here.
Right.
We have a lot of text here. Same like biology. We need to learn. So the skill which is required is to dissect and know what's the gist of it. We elaborate it when it's needed.
So what will you tell someone who's in the high school right now, and if they're going to CBSE and if they want to pursue medicine, so biology, chemistry, physics is for taken, right? They have to take that. What should be the fourth subject? What would you recommend them?
I would say for sure say that do an experiment. Take PE if you want. Take economics if you like. Take psychology. But make sure that whatever you're picking is something which you have some idea about. Like for say psychology, I did ask my seniors about it. I did ask them and they did say that, okay, see, there's a very thin book.
Right.
And that's in one whole year. So don't worry.
You can manage.
You can manage.
Okay, nice.
So again, I didn't go around asking every single person. There was a couple of seniors who I asked, who had also taken the same subjects, like biology and psychology. And now the thing is, one thing about psychology which gave me confidence is even the commerce students take psychology, even the humanities students take psychology.
Correct. Yes.
So and the subject is same for everyone. So all of us sit in the same class. So it was pretty good combination actually.
Nice.
Way we all sat down and we used to learn, because they also have accounts, the commerce students. We had physics. So all of us have the same, like in terms of the difficulty is the same. And we all are doing psychology. So it's like one point where we all meet. So that was something I really enjoyed. It was good. And when it comes to economics also, when science students take economics as a fifth subject, they sit with commerce students. They sit in their class. So it's a good experience. It's a really good...
Right. So you get to mingle with other
you get to know
also.
You know that the struggle is not just for you. Everyone is there.
Right.
The nervousness is there. When you're in 12th, it's boards. Everyone feels the same pressure as you.
Absolutely.
So it's a good learning experience.
So I want you to little bit think about your school days now, just to answer this. So you were in, say, grade 11, 12th. And as you said, you had a lot of university choices, country choices in front of you. I'm presuming doing medicine was like a firm choice. By grade 11, you were already fixed that you want to do MBBS or medicine, right? So that was done. How did you go about your destination planning? What was the discussion happening amongst, family or with your mom and dad? Okay, which country should I go? Should I go back to India or should I study in UAE? Take me through that.
Right. So that discussion has been going on since my high school. Since grade 10, this discussion has been going on that would I stay back with my parents here? Would I go abroad? Can I manage myself independently?
What was your decision, in the sense, what was your first choice, to go abroad?
I wasn't confident. I didn't want to give it a try because I have this thing where I am rigid to change. But once it comes there, once I dive in, change myself. I make sure that I'm there in the situation. So I like to dive in and then get a hang of things. But I'm rigid to change. If you ask me today,
So you need that external push, somebody to convince you.
either situation demands or the push.
Right. So what were the destination options you and your family had considered?
Right. So
by the time you reached grade 12, now it was like, okay, now we have to take a call where to apply.
So in grade 11, I remember my school had arranged a open day.
Okay.
In grade 11, when I was in grade 11, for the grade 12 students. Right. So there were around 25, 30 universities. But when I went around, I was shocked to see that there were only 2 or 3 medical universities which had come up. So the scope of you interacting with a medical university or the representative of a medical university is very less in open days, at least as far as my experience is concerned. I barely got to speak to 1 or 2 of them. So one university was from Georgia and there was one university from Ukraine. So I got the papers, all the documents, and I was kind of excited to discuss this with my parents, and I went back home. When we were discussing about, we'll keep this aside and we'll think about India and other countries as well. So we are still exploring options, and by the time it's 12th grade, we had Poland, we had Georgia in mind.
Okay. So COVID forced you to kind of stay back in the UAE.
Yeah, it kind of made me
options here.
Yeah. I was like thinking, my mindset was, let me like stay with my parents. I feel like kind of safe here. World right now is not that
Right.
Say.
So I want to understand how students are arriving at their choices. So you mentioned about the career fair, you met universities there. So what all other tools or techniques you used or information resources to finalize or get information about your choices? Give reasons why not to take science.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah.
But like all of them have taken sciences. So, but one of them went into engineering. He's done BTech. One of them luckily had taken medicine. So he was a good like reference for me. And in fact, he had approached Ganberry as well. That's when I got to know about Ganberry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
in 2018. This is 2018 when I got
That's
to know about
nice.
Ganberry, and I was like, wow, okay, there is exclusive medical career counseling in the UAE. Wow, that's something I was amazed. And that's when I got to know about it. And I did approach Ganberry as well. And that time around 2018.
Right.
Um,
A lot of students do. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So and I got a good guidance from good idea and insight about every university. In fact, an overview about every university. What is there? What can we look or expect from each university?
Right.
What are the future benefits from doing from one university than the other?
Right.
So these kind of information was pretty helpful. So, and then comes the university websites in itself.
Self-research.
Self-research, yes. Yeah, some universities have this option where we can contact them and in the reception itself, we can ask them to transfer the call to the admin department, and they would give us a couple of numbers of their like representative, student representatives, and we can have a word with them. For Gulf Medical University, when I went there, after my admission process, it was done. My admission was final, and I was like, okay, this is it. I am in Gulf Medical University. So that's when I had approached the admission department and I spoke to few student representatives.
So what convinced you about Gulf Medical University?
About Gulf Medical University, from the beginning, the accreditation.
Accreditation.
Yeah, accreditation and the scope as well. When I say the scope, we had a university tour. Before the admissions itself, we had a university tour where we went through the entire campus, and it did give me like a very different feeling. And very different feeling. Somewhere I was nervous as well. Like, it's very different from school. It's absolutely a lot more, and it feels overwhelming. I think many students sometimes have this doubt when I ask now. Like a lot of juniors do text me, so they have that feeling that they may not be able to handle. It would get overwhelming for them. Like I feel like you don't know your potential. When the situation comes, when you face it, probably then you will know whether you can take it or not.
Right.
You should decide or conclude whether it's overwhelming or not after facing it. So yeah.
So what part of the university tour overwhelmed you or made you feel nervous? Was it like the laboratories or the clinicals or the kind of curriculum and exams that we're talking about?
I think the infrastructure and the way medical university is there in itself, because I had never had an inside out view of a medical university ever. The pictures which we see in Google is something very different from how it feels there. The air, the environment. And the labs, especially the part where I felt nervous was the labs. After seeing the gross anatomy lab for the very first time, the cadavers were there, and the gross anatomy lab. I still remember that day. So those things were very it made me nervous.
How was your first actual experience with cadaver and with the dichotomy and all that stuff?
That was in second year. Second year during the summer, we had a dissection training. And it was a 2 weeks training. So now we are done with second year. We are officially like third year students.
Right.
And now we are very excited. We're very excited for the dissection training. And we go there and we see that the cadaver is there. We keep different names to it. We are all excited. Yeah. We are giving names to the cadavers. we are giving him names. And
why is that? Why do you give a name to a cadaver?
It was just like fun. Like students are like just having our fun time there.
Tell me some names. Or is it actual names or like?
No, just our pet names, which we give the cadaver. For us, probably to remember. This is like something to take away. This is like one takeaway that we'll probably remember the cadaver. Like you know, Tom who we dissected, like that. That's the thing for us. And I remember the anatomy professor coming and she gives us like a 500 pages atlas and the dissection books, which she's like, prepare this and then we start. So we all are very excited. We are looking at the tools when the professor comes and gives us a textbook, and we were like, all of our moods are like going from there till down. Our excitement went down, and we are like, okay, are we going to again learn? Like, is it textbooks again? And we had to prepare 3 hours straight, after which we started our first session. Like from the head and neck.
Right. How was the reaction of your friends, some of your classmates doing the dissection? Were any of them nervous?
No, even I have scenes where students they have this thing in mind that feeling that we'll probably puke if we see the cadaver. We would yeah, like
Right.
those things we have heard. It's been
So how do you tackle this anticipation,
It's-
or like do you have theoretical classes just to take you through? Okay, this is what you can expect, and
So
this is how
we
you have
do-
to tackle it.
yes, we do have classes like theory classes where we have pictures of cadavers in them.
Okay.
Like the presentations and the lectures what we attend, we do have pictures of cadaver because we need to have a
That's in
clear-
anatomy, right?
Yeah, anatomy lectures where even in pathology, we do have like cadaver pictures, dissection being attached there. The cadaver pictures attached there. So it's not like the first time that we will be like now, as I said, in third year, just like after completing second years when we had the dissection training. But from the very first year itself, like within 2 or 3 months through the course, in the first year students go to the gross anatomy lab. We do have this
Okay.
classes with the cadaver. So we call them flag marks. So we mark each of it with pointers, and then those are the labelings of each
Okay.
part. So we need a precise idea of what part is called what and what's the function of it. So that's the learning which we take up from
Right.
the class.
So before you get to do the dissection, you're
Dissection.
pretty aware of.
Yeah. You
how it
observe it. So you see it in the pictures, then you observe it from far, then you go closer, then you go. So just stepwise.
Perfect. That's a great insight.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you about CBSE students aspiring to do medicine. So you know the typical trend among NRI students or even Indian students. So they are going hard out on preparing for NEET. They're not going for internships or some sort of exposure to validate, if is medicine the thing for me? Because in India we have this rat race of scores, NEET scores, NEET scores. Even the universities don't require any clinical exposure as such, or apprenticeship to make your resume or something. So what would you tell CBSE students what they should do to validate, okay, is medicine the thing for me or not?
So I think internship is a great option which students can go through, like doctor shadowing. Or when 10th grade student gets approaches a doctor,
Right.
Than internship, because internship clerkship comes in the university
Correct. Yeah.
course. So doctor
What I meant is like just community surveys or some sort of
Right,
work
right.
internships.
So doctor shadowing is something which gives a good idea of for a student who is in high school,
Right.
of what exactly the field looks like. What is the day in day out practical happenings and day in day out experiences in the field.
Right.
They're going to choose as their future.
Right. So shadowing is one.
Shadowing is one. Then research is another thing. Students before even getting into medicine can get themselves engaged in researches.
Research on what topic? Like what they should research on?
Research anything like in grade 12 biology we do learn about systems, various systems.
Right.
Like musculoskeletal system, and we have the gastrointestinal system. So various systems. So they can pick up one topic which is not necessarily to be something very complex. When we like hear the name research, they're like, okay, something very complex, we gotta have a groundbreaking results. No, something very simple. You can do a literature review about it. Yeah, you can have something as simple as that.
Okay.
And do the research, get it peer reviewed. So these things would look good in your CV in the future and for the university application when you put it up. And it'll also have a good idea. You'll also get a good idea about the field where you're going.
Right.
You'll not be lost. You
Right.
would have some idea and knowledge about it. You know
Right.
that
Just to summarize, Dr. Shadowing,
Dr. Shadowing,
research, and some
Research.
literature review, right? And peer review of all these things. Fantastic. Now let's move to your university life. So when you joined Gulf Medical University, how was the first year like?
So the first year was something I didn't have much expectations from. Like I was like, okay, this is a new place again. Something which is going to go for it's a long journey as well. So we're gonna be just sticking to studies and like the classes and be dedicated and disciplined. That was my only thing which I went in. But then I realized that university life is not just that. It's not just the classroom, lecture, seminar. We have a lot of co-curricular and extracurricular activities going on. Like as you were mentioning about the community service.
Right.
We have a lot of community engagement activities in Gulf Medical University. The Labor Day, we conduct the medical camps. Every year we do during the Ramadan, after the Ramadan period. So we do have those things and a lot more extracurricular activities, sports. It's a very big thing. We have a team for every single sport in the university.
Nice.
And there's a very good infrastructure. The fields, we have a field for every sports.
Nice.
So there's like a lot of scope for students to engage themselves other than studies. But again, not forget about studies.
Right.
But
Talk about the studies. How is the first year looks like? How are the examination system? How many subjects you have?
So the entire course is broken into 2 phases.
Okay.
The preclinical phase and the clinical phase. The first, second, and third, all 3 are in the preclinical phase, and the pattern is similar in all the 3 years. So we have weekly tests, which is a mandatory thing, monthly tests, and then we have the major exams. Like when I say major exams, when you're in med school, every exam is important because the continuous assessment exam means a larger chunk of portions. That's a major exam.
Right.
So we have 3 exams in that way, which is in the mid of the semester,
Okay.
at the end of the semester, and end of the year.
And they are written exams or they are vivas, orals?
So
How are you assessed?
Yeah, we have a theory exam, which is MCQ test.
Okay.
And then we have a practical exam, which is called the OSPE.
Okay.
Right. And which are stations, which is a written exam as well.
Okay.
The practical exams are written.
Okay.
And there would be 8 to 10 stations, 15 stations, depending on the course as well, the course duration, because we learn in modules. So every system is a module, and depending on the duration and the size of the module, accordingly have number of stations increased.
Okay.
It is more like an oral exam.
Even in the first year?
In the first year itself, we begin with the clinical exams, and that also is broken in stations. But it's more like history taking. The clinical skills which are required for med students should be known, which are going to be your day in day out hands-on experience in the clinical phase is what we learn from the first year itself.
Okay.
So these 3 things. So it's theory, practical, and clinical exam.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. Okay. I want to ask you about your program. From what I know, you're going to, or you have already done 3 years of your program in Gulf Medical University, and the last 3 years you're going to spend in University of Lublin in Poland. Talk about this program. It's very unique. Very few universities offer this program.
Right. So I think Gulf Medical was one of the first universities to bring up this program in the year 2017. And I joined the 2020 batch. I was the 4th batch of the university.
Okay.
And it's a program where it's called the Associate Degree in Preclinical Sciences. Okay. Which is awarded by Gulf Medical University at the end of 3 years.
Okay.
So we do the preclinical phase of the course here, which is the 1st to 3rd year, and the 4th to 6th year, which is the clinical phase, is done in University of Lublin in Poland.
Okay.
And
so who awards you
the final degree is from Medical University of Lublin. We are students of Medical University of Lublin right from the first year, right from the admissions.
Okay.
So this is the admission process itself goes like first the admission, all the details are taken for what University of Lublin requires. And we are registered there, and we are registered in Gulf Medical University.
Okay. So what were the admission requirements like that time? I'm sure now, things are changing, but that time, what did you have to give? Any entrance exam, interviews, or just pure application? How was it?
So there was an entrance exam and an interview, both. The entrance exam is a 1-hour exam.
Okay.
We have MCQs and some aptitude questions. And based on the entrance exam is what we have the interview on.
Okay.
So the interview again has like 2 phases in it, where the first phase is about the entrance exam, like the way we have performed, and some additional questions along with what has been asked.
Right.
And then we have the second phase where there are some aptitude questions like are you sure if you want to do medicine? Is there anyone from your family who has done medicine? And why do you pick this certain course?
Yeah. Okay. So you did 3 years here in Gulf Medical University, and you praised a lot about it. And then for the clinicals, you had to move to Poland.
Yes.
And I believe out of that 1 year, you've already done it.
Yes.
So how was the transition from like studying in UAE and then going to Poland?
Right.
What was the differences like?
Right. I'll say it in 2 parts. One is the academic part, and one is the personal life. Right.
Okay.
So the academic part, academic transition was pretty smooth because we had a language course. We had something called a bridge course in the last semester of the university.
So you learned Polish language that time?
Yeah, we learned Polish language at that time, A1 level. and we are well oriented with the system of University of Lublin. Before even we get there, we start with our 4th year. So there's an orientation which is given, and multiple orientations which are given at different times in the during the semester. And so Polish language is one thing, and the way the exam pattern is kept for us from the first year to the 3rd year is same as how we have it in Lublin as well. So the practical theory and clinical exam I was talking about is same as there. Some minor changes here and there. So academically, it's pretty smooth transition. We're prepared with what we're going to face. When it comes to the personal challenges, I think that's where there was a little.
Tell me more about it.
Right. So one thing is the climate and the weather. When people again, this is also something which I've heard a lot from my seniors, but I think climate and weather is something to consider, a major factor to consider. Because we as students who have lived all our lives in UAE, we just know summer.
Right.
So going to a place where it's like where it hits -20, -25, that actually affects a student and the day-to-day routine. And the way we go to the university, over there we walk, we get out of the house, there's a car, there's a bus, we get there.
Right.
All
All convenience.
Yeah. So again, convenience is one part, and another part is even students I know who stay in Ajman, Gulf Medical University, students who stay in Ajman itself, they have a car. They take the taxi because the weather as well doesn't support. The weather there supports, but then walking is something that's a habit, right? That's a change. That's the mindset change as well, that you have to walk. It's a 2-kilometer walk, it's a 1.5-kilometer walk. You have to walk. Now, when we even if I say someone here that okay, let's just walk just 1 kilometer away. Like, God, 1 kilometer. 2 kilometers, just 2 kilometers away.
But in that weather, it's pleasant, no? Sometimes I can understand in extreme winters, but in summers, I'm sure it must be fun, right?
Yeah, but the fall is like 6 months straight. Then we have the spring is a good season actually. The summers are again a little bit of a because it's nice. It's broad daylight. It's nice, good. But the summers, the sun sets at like 9:30, 10 p.m.
Okay.
Again, you
have a longer daylight.
Very long, very long. So again, it's nowhere how it was in UAE. So that I think is a big change, mental change, which we need to bring in.
So what I understood is one is extreme weather. Be prepared for
it. And then the second thing is about
walking, transportation.
That's a big shift because you need to be very open and first be agile. And second is be open to public transport. So taking a bus for anywhere you go, taking a train for anywhere you go is something which is a must.
Right. Any cultural shocks in Poland, like in terms of dealing with professors or dealing with Polish people or just going around in Poland?
And there isn't much of a shock, I would say, because because of the program. Thanks to the program, again, we have gone as a batch of 30 students.
Okay, so you already had a group.
Yeah, and my seniors again who have gone just a year before me are still my seniors over there. So the University of Lublin also has made the programs in such a way that we have the Gulf program, we have the American program, we have the Taiwanese program, the international program, and then Polish. Okay. So, but again, speaking about that, I have to mention that there isn't that everyone is on their own. There is a lot of scope and a lot of platforms where we also get to exchange our thoughts and our perspectives. So we have medical conferences over there. We have research going on over there, and a lot of other activities which are planned every month. And there's a student council and English division of Lublin, where students can engage themselves in various activities. Like there's suturing session, workshops. Which are kept every month, and then there are dissection workshops as well. As in that way we also are fine-tuning our skills as well as mingling with a lot of students. We are getting to exchange our thoughts and encounter and speak with them.
That's fantastic. Yes. Okay, so you had a smooth transition as compared to a lot of students who go to Poland for directly in the first year.
Right.
That's great. Okay, I have a very popular question from the parents. How much do you spend on studies? So tell me, how much did you spend for tuition fees in the first 3 years at Gulf Medical University, and then in the last 3 years at Lublin, University of Lublin in Poland, how much you have to spend?
Okay, so in Gulf Medical University, the first 3 years and in Lublin is what both the fees are same, because as I said, because we were registered in Medical University of Lublin, and we are the students of Medical University of Lublin.
Right.
So we pay this fees which is charged by them, which is 18,500 USD.
Okay. Per year.
Per year.
Okay.
And 9,240 per semester is a fee.
Right. And you're paying say roughly $20,000 just for the sake of calculation. You're paying per year. If you study the same program in the UK, I know as a counselor, you will at least spend $40,000 to $50,000 per year, right? So a lot of parents ask, like, if I graduate say from Poland or from any other European country, can I go to the UK and practice? Like, I save so much money, but then will I have the pathway eventually to work in the UK as a doctor?
Right. Thanks for asking this question. Because even I have plans to go to the UK after graduating here. Yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, we can go to the UK there. We can get there's a pathway there. The UK Emily is been
Now announced.
Yeah, and the PLAB is no more there. There's no
Okay.
restrictions for EU students, so we can get there by just giving IELTS academic 8 band. With no less than 7.5 in each category. That's the requirement, and that's it. We can join the Foundation Year 1 FY1 program, and we can start our journey in the UK.
Right. So what I've heard is, as of now, UKMLE is exempted for EU graduates, but in the future, it's going to be mandatory for everyone, even for students graduate from even UK universities.
Okay.
That's what things are in the pipeline. So maybe by the time
I've heard about it. I heard that it's coming. It's right around the corner. But
yes. So you can work in the UK. That's great. But imagine if you have to work in Poland. Did you try to find out what it takes to continue to work as a doctor in Poland? What you have to do as an international student?
So there's an exam called LEK, L-E-K.
Okay.
That's the licensing exam for Poland, and it takes place twice a year in Warsaw. So as a medical student, I would have to give that exam.
Okay.
And along with that, there would be a language proficiency exam as well, which is Polish language. I'm not sure about the level, but there's a language proficiency exam as well. So once we're done with both of that, we can start practicing as a.
So you can register with the local medical body. You don't need any additional internship or as such, just like 6 years of.
We need 1 year of internship, which is a mandatory.
After 6 years?
After 6 years. We need 1 year of internship as well. Yeah.
So you need to do the internship, then the LE exam along with the language proficiency, and then you can register. Yeah?
Yeah. That's the process.
Okay. Amazing. Tell me 2 popular restaurants or dishes you like in Poland.
Hello India is one.
Okay. What's it?
It's a Gujarati Indian restaurant. In Lublin.
Okay.
And there's one called Malay Indi.
Okay.
And it's in the old town of Lublin. Malay Indi. Yeah.
What do they serve? What cuisine they serve?
It's Indian restaurant. We get all the North Indian dishes there. All the North Indian dishes. So you can be rest assured that you get the same taste.
Right.
Yeah.
So how satisfying it is to find, Indian food after,
traveling so far. Yes.
Yeah.
Now it has become a thing that Indians are everywhere.
Right.
So it's not so surprising, yet it is very satisfying that we get Indian food. And more than anything, it's like somewhere in my mind, I have this assurance that even I won't starve to that. I have the Indian restaurant there. I can go there and get my food.
Right. And tell me the party places. We do know, medical students do party. Like there's the impression there's no time even to eat food. But I do know a lot of medical students. They study hard, but they also party hard. Tell me, where do you guys go in Lublin?
In Lublin,
where do you chill generally? After college, where do you go?
So we do go out to chill.
Yeah,
we do a hangout. We do go for hangouts. Weather again. We can see a very natural ecosystem there. We can see a forest. We can see a garden. Everything is there. We can see parks. We can see lakes. So it's a very beautiful terrain, and I think because of that, the nature being so beautiful, we prefer going for hangouts in near a lakeside.
Right.
Or we do go to gardens, and that's our pretty much
nice. So just if you step out, it's you're relaxed, you're chill.
We are relaxed, because we don't want anything we do go for paintball, laser tag, these kind of activities as well once in a while. But when we talk about the more frequently done things, it's this.
Okay. And one last question: is there anything that your mom overpacked for you, like any food dish or something that she said, okay, take a lot of with you, and then eventually you're not using it maybe there?
I think the spices. Because I do cook a little from my side.
You do?
Yeah, I do cook basic few dishes for my survival. So the spices were something which are overpacked, which I have still. But the good part is it doesn't get spoiled. So I do have it for the coming up months.
So what's the packing list like? Okay, apart from food, what all things you would say to an international tour you should take with you?
So this is something I would like to as well mention, because the first time when I went, I had no clue about Poland. I've never been to Poland before. So when I said Georgia before earlier on, we had visited to Georgia in 2017. When we went to Georgia, I was like, okay, wow, this is a good place. This is like peaceful, good place. This is nice. Because I went as a tourist. I didn't know how it would feel as a student. It's a very different perspective from a student side.
Exactly.
But I didn't know how it would feel
When you're
as
by
a student.
yourself.
Yeah. And Poland is something I have no idea about. And plus, there were a lot of mixed things going on as well, like talks and stuff, that you won't get this in Poland, you won't get that in Poland. So I was like, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll pack this juicer. I'll pack
No
the
way.
breakfast maker.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'll take this, I'll take that. My dad was like, yeah, take the TV, take the fridge, take everything. Go. And I was like, okay. Then I made a list, final list. But I realized that no, you get most of the things out there. All the Indian items as well, you get all the
Even
raw food
textbooks and everything you can
everything. And textbooks nowadays are all ebooks. Even in Lublin, we have a e-library, which is fantastic. We get all the books, English, because that's also a thing, because they do have Polish books. Most of the books are Polish. The percentage of English books are less, but yes, what is recommended is always there. So ebooks are a thing, and if students require a hard copy, they print out the chapters which they require.
Nice. And I promise this is the last one. Tell me 2 words in Polish that you frequently use there, like hello or goodbye, something, anything.
So it's a greetings. It's called Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
Okay.
And dziękuję is thank you.
Dziękuję is
It's
thank you. Okay.
As a part of history taking, it's a thing that we greet the patient and we thank the patient at the end.
Awesome.
So this is something which we use every day, about more than 50, 100 times. I don't know. Every time we see a patient, every time we see a doctor.
Awesome. With that, I will say dziękuję.
Thank you.
Like, thanks a lot, Savitran, for sharing your experience so candidly. I'm sure not only for me, but even students who are going to watch it, they're going to love this and learn a lot from your experience.
Great. I would as well mention that we do have a podcast of our own, which is by the English division students. All the universities in Poland together have made this Medicine Across Borders.
Medicine Across Borders.
Medicine Across Borders.
Please.
Yes, check it out. And we are there on Spotify, YouTube. And all students who are interested in undergraduate research can approach us. We do have those programs going. So yeah.
Fantastic. So you are there for each other.
Yes, always.
That's very important. Thank you, Savitran.
Thank you.